What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Smoking Tire Podcast. Today's episode is brought to you, as always, by Off the Record. We love Off the Record, and so do you. You constantly email me to tell me about how much you love it. 3 emails this week. Dismiss, dismiss, dismiss. These guys are just absolutely crushing it over there. I absolutely love Off the Record. Use code TST25 on the Off the Record app, or go to offtherecord.com/TST to get 10% off all your legal bookings from Off the Record as a little gift from us. They cover 97% of America. They work with local lawyers who know the jurisdiction where you've been pulled over and know that system, and boy, do they get it done. Again, on the app, code TST25, or with the website, it's offtherecord.com/TST. Very, very easy. All right, folks, on this episode of the podcast, my missus, Hanna, is in studio with me talking a pretty big game. She's got chops this one. She answers your questions about me, and then she has some questions of her own to see if I'm a good husband or not, if I listen, if I'm attentive. This is a fun 90 minutes of radio. Our patrons really brought some good questions, and enjoy. It's me and my wife, and this is what it's like to be in our house, but it's on the Smoking Tire Podcast.
Do you just wish Paul was here right now?
Corporate America. Okay. Hi, everybody.
Let's talk about that you said drat about Paul not being here.
Yeah. I am...
Drat, my wife.
Oh, please. I am legitimately... Did you see how many... Like how I did, I thought hard about Paul, not like being here.
What?
No, I thought I
know, but you thought about Paul being here after I had said I would do this with you, and then you're all, thanks.
Oh, this?
Let me tap, 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 and get Paul.
We're just going to dive bomb into the fact.
Well, yeah, let's just start with that. So reluctantly, here I am.
Oh, shit. Here we go. All right.
It's fine. It's totally fine.
Yes.
Nothing's wrong.
I mean, look. People are saying that Paul Zuckerman was going to be an amazing guest on the show.
Paul Zuckerman, of course, would be an amazing guest on the show.
It was. It's
more the statement that my husband likes him more than me.
As a fucking radio guest. As a radio
I know, but
guest.
let's remember, you spent the whole day today.
Potentially as a car collector, and also potentially as an interior decorator. And also, if I was collecting...
I don't think you should continue on with this list.
Vintage Harley-Davidson, Hells Angels memorabilia, I'd probably go with Zuckerman. On everything else in the world...
He has great taste in wallpaper.
I go with my wife, Hanna, who it's apparently all, like, roast me today.
It's not true. It's not true.
Well, are we good there?
I think we're good,
We're here. Now we can do radio.
Let's begin.
Oh, boy. We have many. I mean, the best part about this was, like, I actually didn't have to think of anything to talk about, even though I have some framing that we should start.
After you got over the disappointment of having to on the show.
After I drowned my sorrows. Mm-hmm. No, the last time we did this, which was like 3 years ago, was a little wine drunkie also.
Me and you?
Yeah. Both of us were wine drunkie.
Oh, yeah.
We did it with like a webcam in the upstairs office.
I remember the worst lighting. It looked like we were both being interrogated by the police.
Well, lighting like that is why we had Jay Ryan make it nice up here.
All right, whirly gig.
We have so many questions about our marriage from the Patreon, which I have let you preview. People are so nice.
People are lovely. First of all, I really want to commend the patrons' names.
Oh, the usernames?
The usernames.
Yeah.
And what's funny about that to me is it seems, looking at these, that like if they're patrons of 3 different podcasts, they could have 3 different usernames. Because
not only that, they can change their usernames frequently. So sometimes there's people that
How come no one has changed their username to Hanna? Just out of curiosity.
I think like the mob, like families are off limits. I don't think you're supposed to hit like that.
Fair. Yeah.
Like if you on this podcast, like
what if I was one of your patrons?
Well, what if you drop like a bomb? Oh, it was on the sly. So, like, for the last, like, 2.5 years, you've been, like, sliding 10 a month
Yep.
back to me, pro driver level.
And was saving it up until this
And
episode to tell you.
let me, should I guess whose username I think you're commenting as? I think it's Mike Who Cheese Harry. Is that you?
Absolutely not.
No, okay. Shit. I don't know. Everyone does some real good ones.
Anyway,
though.
they're very good ones. And what I thought was very sweet in previewing the questions was they weren't all questions about you. Some of them were just questions about me, which was so nice.
If you,
Because my whole life is people asking me questions about you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Except some notable people who were very nice to you.
Yeah, that famous volleyball player told me I had a nice sweater.
Gabby Reese.
Yes.
Yeah. And then she started talking about eating deer and how delicious it was.
Oh, I don't remember that
Yeah,
part.
because they're like
I
overrunning.
was flying so high on the compliment on my sweater.
Yeah, Gabby, she was
Legend. Hubba, yeah.
Legend of the 90s. And her husband, Laird Hamilton, was like, and then I invented
Oh my God.
kite dive bombing.
He was like, I invented the ocean. Then I invented fish.
We say that with love. He's a G. That guy.
100%. But it was a pretty spectacular
Yeah,
list
yeah.
of things that man invented.
And then I found myself 80 miles offshore on a jet ski with no gas. Like, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Stop moving, Han. I set the cameras for a certain thing.
Well, I thought my
You're
niece
just
could...
making yourself look shorter.
I know, and I wore horizontal stripes. I'm like very concerned about the whole thing.
Yeah, just,
I brought a backup sweater.
Just don't read the YouTube comments. The patrons and the YouTube comments,
Oh, I know, yeah.
Not the
But
same.
my favorite YouTube comment of all time is when like multiple people said that Zack and I look alike. That was like my favorite day.
That's maybe in that angle from maybe if I fucking like Freddy Krueger light you, that's possible. But I gotta say, spend
was
a lot of
honored.
time with you both, and I don't see it. But
maybe you have a type.
Maybe I don't want to see it.
You have a
man.
type.
I have a type.
Just
That's
saying.
fucking crazy. Oh wow, it got weird in the first
Do you need me to get
7
taller?
minutes, huh?
Do you need me to get taller?
No, you're
All right.
fine.
Okay.
Okay, so we got a lot of nice notes about your performance in the Taycan video and your comments about the car, and people asked me they never really got to hear your thoughts on driving the Bentley and how you like driving the Bentley. So now that it's gone, and we lost a lot less money than I thought we were going to lose.
And we were bracing ourselves
Yeah,
for.
right.
Yeah.
We lost very little money. Actually, quite cheap to drive the Bentley. And then the guy drove it. Picked it up in San Diego at Cars and Bids, and then drove it with his mother back to Seattle.
Oh my God, that's so sweet.
And sent me some lovely pictures, which I'll have to post on Instagram. I forgot.
Did his
to do
mother
that.
get to ride in the back seat while he was in the front?
It was
Like my parents did when I drove them around in it?
it was a brief conversation. I didn't ask the seating arrangements.
This is why I should talk.
But what do
more.
you think? Huh?
Nothing.
This is. Well, listen, you were 6 months from being my assistant, so
I mean,
yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, let's hear your thoughts on the Bentley Turbo R.
sure. I was actually thinking about this today. I mean, I loved this car. I loved the story of how we got it. I loved, the story of it continuing to live on our street. I loved that it was our daily driver. But I think in total, it was a stressful car to drive.
In what way?
A little bit in its size. I think being low and wide, like high and wide, you're kind of very aware. But pulling into parking spots in that car was really something I did not enjoy doing.
It's got a real long hood.
And also because you're always giving me crap for not pulling into spots far enough.
Well, yeah, no,
And-
you don't get close enough
Yeah.
to anything in front ever.
Yes.
Even in hilariously the Delica.
Well, the Delica, because I was swapping out with things like long-nosed Bentley.
The Delica, you stop like 12 feet from the car in front of you, and the front of the car is like your literal knees. I watched you do like a couple like 30-inch box jumps today right in front of me. Like you clearly know that distance, and yet you need an extra car in front with a fucking cab over Japanese van. It's weird. Your selective ass depth perception.
Yeah. It comes and goes like the hot water in our house.
Yes. Mid-mod.
But pulling into things, and also it had those very small side mirrors. And I think
That's for sure.
if we were keeping that car longer term, I would have said, listen, we got to add on some elephant ear mirrors.
Yeah. You know when we'd appreciate those side mirrors? That is one of those, if we were in England, like, you know, they didn't do like a global development program of the Turbo R. They like drove it around fucking Coventry. You know, just like every car from the 1950s and 60s was designed by people in blue suits that never left Detroit or drove around anything but a 90-degree corner. And that's why all their cars are shit boxes.
Just like that.
But like the other way around, they drove around England. So they have these tiny little mirrors because these hedges are all seriously. You have to drive through these like mad tiny little hedges, and so having little mirrors makes sense. Here in the half desert, where it's wide, it makes no sense. And the side visibility sucks.
And I think the side visibility made me really like. I looked by mirrors, even changing lanes. It was like, check your mirrors, swivel your whole body, come back, check your mirror again, and then like quick prayer to some
You would
heavenly
pass a
body
driving test today. You'd be like, that's like someone in a car, someone rolling a Tesla as their first car would like fail a driving test 5 years later. You would pass a driving test.
One of my
right
favorite things that ever happened at WCCS was when the guys, one day I was taking one of the cars out and I had hand over the back seat or hand over the seat to reverse, and they were like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And they were like, "You have cameras," and I was like, "Huh?" Like, yeah, but I'm older.
Not in that car. Yeah, that car. It is like that. That's true.
But ultimately, I loved it. But I saw one of the Patreon questions was around, I think it was, what was the best interaction I had in the Bentley?
I'll find it if I can. Guys, we got to take a quick break today for Delete Me. They are bringing that heat, making it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone vulnerable. I've now been with Delete Me for a couple of months, and man, they get it done. They work in the background. You don't hear from them but for once a month, but they are always going. They're doing the hard work of wiping my and my family's personal information from data broker websites. They know my privacy is worth protecting, and they offer an ongoing, not one time, but ongoing service to help stop those robocalls, reduce the spam emails, and protect my privacy. And I have in my hand, I printed it out. It comes digitally, but I printed it out. It's my fourth report, my privacy protection program. It's got a summary and the cover letter from my privacy advisor telling me my status. And in March of 2025, Delete Me found and reviewed 2,626 listings. 12 of my listings were removed. 10 data brokers had my personal info. 89 instances of personal info found. They did a lot of searching, and they sent me a very, very detailed report from the data broker websites where they found different bits of my information, past addresses and friend connections and things like that. It's pretty good. And then they show you what they've deleted. I like it very much. And you can get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/tire and use promo code TIRE at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/tire and then enter code TIRE at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/tire, code TIRE. And now back to the show.
And what was interesting to me about that question is this is all coming back to the patriarchy, my favorite subject, but I had almost no interactions in the Bentley.
Shout out to Jack Cusano, patron, who asked that.
And that's not me as the patron. That's not my alter ego patron name.
Yeah.
I didn't plant that one.
Send in all the questions you wanted. So, the Jerry episode airs next. This is 998.
Yeah, I know, I'm the fill-in. Go on.
Yeah. But there's a couple, Jerry fucking, destroyed me a couple of times, and oh shit, I forgot. How did you get me in there? That I just like.
My patron alter ego, planting questions about the Bentley.
Oh yeah, planting questions.
So I could talk about the patriarchy.
Planting questions. Yeah. He a couple times he was like, if I was asking me, so guys, when you're listening to the next episode, look out for what Jerry's like. If I was asking me, and there's a couple just there's 2 or 3 times in the 90 minutes with him where my soul is decimated.
Well, I don't like to hear that.
No, but like I'm certain it was done out of love and respect, and him being just a tough comedian who's just he's throwing shit because that's what he does for fun. And when we left and got back in the car, Zack was like, he really likes you. And I was like, I don't know, man. I think my soul just left my body. And he was like, no. And he's been emailing me some stuff, like unrelated things we chatted about, what do you call adolescence, which, go watch that shit. But anyway, the part of it was I want everybody to listen for when he goes, I would ask myself this question. It's just like the indicator of like what you're asking me is not good enough.
But I would just like to point out,
yeah,
he decimated your soul as a sign of affection. When we first started dating and I would pinch you with my toes, that was a sign
hurt.
of affection.
You drew blood once.
Yeah. And the more blood, the more love. That's the rule, isn't it? Isn't that how?
The more blood, the higher the felony count. Is actually. Someone today, I was on someone else's podcast, and I don't think they had started recording, and someone as a joke was talking about, they learned about using Zoom because their kids were like doing Zoom classes and whatever, and they were like in high school. And they were like, and all the guys in the high school were like showing their asses on Zoom. I was like, and how funny it was. And I was like, I think that's like a crime. I'm not sure, but it sounds.
We watch a lot of SVU.
Yeah.
And I mean, yes, it could, technically, but then who's responsible
Nobody's
anyway?
prosecuting these crimes.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, but back to the patriarchy. I had no interactions in the Bentley, but anytime Matt drove this car, people would like fling themselves in front of it to stop and tell us how cool the car was, how great he looked in the car. He was so right for the car.
Are you sure that you
every stoplight?
You sure you didn't like have a couple and like block them out? Were you looking for them? Are you
Oh my God, this is going to be the whole like I don't see any signs of my dead brother, and everyone tells me I don't look hard enough.
And what were you wearing?
I was asking for it. No, but I thought it was very interesting. It was a real man. Like I looked like I stole my grandmother's car to do errands, and Matt looked like a gentleman who has fine taste.
It's true. You could see the Bentley intent on my face.
Yeah.
Whereas you can't. Yeah. But we did get some love together. Like you witnessed it. When we were in Vegas and some other times.
Well, my favorite, I don't know if it happened in the Bentley, but my favorite time we ever get car interactions is when I'm driving and you're the passenger and we get out and then someone starts talking to you about how do you like the way that car drives.
Oh.
That's also fabulous.
Guys, don't do that. If you're going to ask someone how the car drives, it should be the person driving the car. I'm just saying. Even if the passenger is me.
But those weren't people who recognized you anyway.
Oh,
okay.
Really? Oh, you mean like strangers?
Yeah.
Yeah, that has happened a couple times.
Outside John and Vinny's it happened. Not that I remember every fucking specific time, but go on.
I have an itemized list of
right.
this.
Yeah, someone else on the Patreon asked about lists. That's definitely one of them. But lists. To answer their question proactively.
She has one written in pen and one written in lipstick.
No, remember my favorite list book that I had
one is on a mirror.
Was the one that was my book of things to remember to be angry about.
Right.
When I could write down small slights that I wanted to be sure to never forget.
How is that not a fucking notepad sold in a tchotch store?
I don't know. I go into a lot of stuff stores. I've never seen one. I had to make a little Post-it note.
Dude. Let's go. We could fucking whip that thing up tonight. before this airs tomorrow.
I could get another Patreon account with all the winnings. Anyway, what else? Give me something else. What other question should we talk about?
Okay, so the Bentley.
Bentley, loved it. Stressful.
Here's the real question. It's now been gone for 2 months. Have you thought about it or missed it in that time?
I've definitely thought about it, but I really was driving the Delica a lot in that time, and really, I just love the Delica so much. It was nice to have one less car in rotation for the moment.
Once you realize you have too many cars and it starts to feel like work to drive them, you gotta -1.
Yeah.
I think it was a really fun year.
It was great.
And I enjoyed it while we had it, and I'm glad we didn't get kicked in the ass financially. That's very nice. So the other thing is, I'm gonna, the 1,000 Sunday. You're gonna be around for that, obviously. Obviously.
Depending on how well I do today.
Somebody has to serve the
I
sandwiches.
was just going to say, somebody's got to answer the door.
No. Hanna will be doing 8 hours of radio, and actually, we're not going to let her leave. She's just going to be here the whole time until she turns slowly insane. It's going to be like a CIA experiment.
Great.
And we're going to put drugs in something.
Okay, what were you saying? This went on too long.
We got a lot of people coming through, and I wanted to like weave a consistent thread. So I thought of like a quick 5-question survey for everybody.
To answer on the spot or beforehand?
No, to answer on the spot.
Because, I write surveys for a living.
Yes, I know.
But go on.
That's why
Okay.
I'm asking you.
Okay, well, let's talk about it. What's happening here?
That's what I'm asking. I want to talk to you about it.
You want to ask me those questions, or
Yeah, I'm
you
going
want
to
to
ask
see
you those
if...
questions, and then you can tell me if they're good questions.
Right, but
or
you
not.
don't care about my answers to them.
No, I care. I know most of your answers, but I care about them, hearing about them again, even if I know them. And there's, 100,000 or so people that would also like to hear some of your answers. I think that's like the point of us having this conversation with microphones and not at dinner.
Well, if Paul were here. But go on. What are they?
If you make my soul die more than Jerry Seinfeld in 90 minutes, I think then you're a good spouse. Okay, question number 1. We did our first episode in 2012. What were you doing at the end of 2012 versus what are you doing today?
Okay.
So that's question number 1. Do you want to answer that question?
I think that's a good question. But
it's a good question for a lot of our guests who are roughly our age and have similar sort of career tracks to us. So if they look back 12 or 13 years ago, they were probably doing a much smaller version of what they're doing
Right, but that was
now.
what I was going to say is have you done a quick test of that? Like for some people who are going to be like, oh, I was a magician working in an aquarium, during the day.
There might be
but
some of
now
that.
I am a famous car person.
There might be some
Okay.
of that. It's possible. A couple of the people that are coming are on the younger side. So 2012 would be like a real long time ago. Like Sam is coming. Remember him? British Sam?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's coming. Oh, he might be coming over for dinner tomorrow night. I forgot that after. Yeah, he's in town.
Oh, totally fine. I think.
Huh? Oh, whatever. Might be. But he's young. So anyway, so that's a good one. Do you want to share your answer?
I don't think my answer is that interesting. I was working I was employed. I guess that's a big difference.
You're employed now.
I was working at Mattel, doing toy stuff.
You're engaged to be employed. Is more.
What's the next question?
What's the best car purchase that you've ever made?
Good question.
Yeah.
But you got to really, I think you should have a timer, like one of those speed Scrabble timers.
Oh, that's
and
fun.
no one can take more than 30 seconds to answer these questions because this could be a real exhausting exercise. I'll happily fucking
No, we have one
bang
of
a
those
gavel.
in the garage we never use from the gym.
Oh, from our boxing days?
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could make that
I
work.
prefer a
30
speed
seconds.
Scrabble one, but whatever.
Do we have a speed Scrabble one?
No, I didn't. I never had one for myself, just at the tournaments. But it was really fun to
Is
slap
it
that
different
thing.
from a speed chess one?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I know. Banging
Yeah.
is nice. We can make that by Sunday. We can't make that happen by Sunday.
I don't know. Supply chain.
And then, inverse, worst car purchase,
Yeah.
right? Do you want to answer your best and your worst? Guys, support for The Smoking Tire comes from the podcast Drive with Jim Farley. You know Jim Farley. He's the CEO of Ford. Not only that, this guy has a GT40 and a Cobra and all kinds of amazing vintage American metal that he races wheel to wheel at places like Goodwood. He's a boss, and you got to check out this show. It's where Jim talks to some of his favorite people about what they drive and what drives them to succeed. They just started season 3 with some sick new guests, including Vicky Butler Henderson, the British racing driver and fifth gear personality, Randy Nonnenberg from Bring a Trailer, and T-Pain, the musician turned drifter. The guy's got skills, actually. I listened to it the other day. It is great. Jim is a great interviewer. He's insightful, and it's interesting hearing these folks open up to him. I really am about it. I support Jim's venture here. To listen to Drive with Jim Farley, just search Drive with Jim Farley in any podcast app. That's Drive with Jim Farley, and thank you for supporting this episode.
I mean, my best was
You can include ones that might have been gifts.
The Jeep.
Or the Jeep, right.
Yeah.
And which type of
So my
Jeep?
worst, though. That's going to be it's a trick question.
Was this CJ?
No, my dad had a CJ7. Mine was the Grand Wagoneer.
Oh, the Wagoneer,
Yeah.
right, yeah. Was it Grand or just Wagoneer?
My parents had a Grand Wagoneer. I just had a Wagoneer.
Yeah, no wood paneling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, mine had... getting so many of them.
I thought I saw
combined.
the photo. It was just red.
No, that was my dad's. My parents had 2.
Oh.
My mom's was green with wood paneling. My dad's was red. Mine did have wood paneling. But anyway, that car also only got 12 miles to a gallon. And I was in college.
On a fucking good day.
Yeah.
Musto has
these were-
one today and gets like 6.
I know. But hubba hubba.
Heinous. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
next
not
question.
good. Okay. Best and worst, Wagoneer. Yeah. Best road trip you've taken?
I don't think you should ask that question.
No? Why?
I think it allows for a lot of meandering, and I understand you've got a lot of time to fill on this.
Not if
but
we have a speed clock.
That is very true. Oh, yeah, actually, I guess true.
I like it as a lightning round. I mean, I
Okay.
like a 30 seconds for each answer. 30 seconds in radio is a lot.
Actually, what if it's how many of these questions can you answer in 30 seconds, and we expand the list by quite a bit? Anyway, we can talk about that later.
And do like one.
We'll talk about that while we're in
one-word
bed
answers,
tonight.
Though.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
you could throw like, what's your food allergy in there? Like, give them some
All right.
zingers. Anyway, it'll be our pillow talk tonight.
All right, number 5. You have $10 million, but you have to spend it on cars, and you have to spend it today.
It's too much money. People are going to have multiple cars. It'll be a thing.
All right. Well, I guess we'll have to make it better then.
I think you should test this with someone more relevant, though.
Maybe I
You're
should
talking to
have.
someone who gets bored at these answers. So,
Yeah. Part of the audience, a small part, probably all the patrons, they're like, you're going to put a timer on the answers of the Brian Scotto's best car purchase ever? Just losing their minds. Like, you have to understand. I'm sorry, I'm not even mean you have to understand, but you do. 8 hours.
I know,
We
that's
have
why I
to
said you
film.
have a lot of time to fill.
Oh, sorry. This is going to be the move. It's going to be this.
Right, true. Okay, fine. Maybe it's a minimum time, and everyone has to take 5 minutes to
The
answer each
speed timer.
question.
It's an egg timer.
Right.
You must talk until the fucking
And then we get like a little like electric prodder or something if they stop talking.
Yeah.
Okay.
You still think the same way about the questions?
I think we should move on from this discussion.
All right, cool.
All right, I think I'm going to ask you some questions now.
Okay,
Okay.
let's go.
Matt Farrah, when you bring a new car home or when we're in any car, you okay?
Yeah.
No,
the shot of you was like looking too much at my computer screen. I didn't like that. So, go on. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I
when
was
you
trying to do it
bring a new
seamlessly.
car home or when we're in any car, what do I look at first? What do I assess first in a car?
I mean, the thing that usually annoys you first is if the controls for the radio are not logical.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Is that a test of do I know you, or
Yeah.
are you good at talking about cars?
No.
Okay.
I'm not going to pretend I can come here and talk
Yeah,
about
yeah.
cars. This is fully do you know me and are we going to fight? Okay,
great.
next question.
I was there for you, by the way. Remember that.
Of all the cars that you've owned, which one did I like the least in our time together?
Oh, the Mustang. Because it leaked fuel on your clothes.
No, that was that one specific day, and then I had the baby bear sighting with that cut on my leg, but I was too mad at you to tell you.
That's like a fair guess, right?
No, but I liked that car. It was a fair guess, yes. It did soak my clothing that I had to wear into the forest.
You thought the M3 was the stupidest.
Which one was the M3?
The silver one. No, I'm guessing it's not that, since you clearly
Is that the one
can't
with the
remember.
white seats?
No, we've never owned a car with white seats.
Oh, yes, you did, and I fucking liked it the least.
I owned a car with white seats?
Yeah, the most precious car in the world that we couldn't even drive, and I couldn't wear the same pants in it because it might...
You're talking about the M3, and the seats are fucking red.
No.
The seats were red.
No.
What car are you talking about?
I don't know. Maybe I'm making this up.
I'm call. What car are you? What car are you
I'm
fucking talking about?
I'm talking about the BMW with the white seats.
They were red.
Pull it up.
They were fucking red. I'm not pulling it up. They were red. You have to trust me on this.
Why were you so crazy about it then?
Because they were perfect, and it wasn't about a dye transfer like happens in all the white seats. That
Right.
wasn't what I was worried about.
Maybe it's because the car you have now has white seats. I'm thinking that.
Yeah. The Maybach has
Yeah,
white
yeah.
seats, and it has like 3,000 miles on it,
They're
and
filthy.
they're dye transferred.
Yeah.
That's not what I was worried about. On that particular BMW, the mileage was so low that the leather, when BMWs are brand new,
I'm so bored of this. Go
give
on.
me 10 seconds
Okay.
and I'll be done. The leather has a crinkle finish on it that wears off very quickly.
What is a crinkle finish?
It's like a texture to the leather that makes it feel like leather versus like shiny, worn-in leather. You know how like steering wheels get shiny over time?
Right.
The seats and all the other leather, that happens to that also in these BMWs. This one was so mint, I didn't want to literally cause friction on it to wear the wrinkles out because there was so much value in them being there. But it wasn't white.
Okay, it wasn't white. You might be right on that.
Yeah.
But
so I'm just saying,
I hated
as
the car
a
because it
how
was-
well do I know you question, I would say this one requires further research at Pillow Talk later.
That'll be morning pillow talk. All right, fine. Okay, if you were a
Yes.
if you were a billionaire,
You'd
What-
never see either of us again. We'd be fucking out of here. Go on.
out of here like together, or you would
Yeah.
dump me in the ocean?
No,
and...
you, the audience, would never see Matt or Hanna. We'd be gone.
Okay, got it.
We wouldn't need to talk anymore.
Okay, fine. Before we disappeared,
Yeah. Got it.
if you were a billionaire, what would you do to help other drivers?
Oh, well, that's a nice thought.
I mean, I already know the answer, so I'm just curious if you know the answer. All my questions have answers.
What would I do
associated.
to help other drivers?
Uh-huh.
If I was a billionaire? And there's supposed to be a right answer to this?
Well, I mean, you have very specifically said this sentence before, not once, multiple times. A public service you would do for other drivers.
A public...
Know thyself, Matt Farah.
All
right, I'll give you a hint.
I'm stumped.
I'll give you a hint because you can't have this dead time on the
You're
radio.
right. I thank you. Do you want to be my producer? Yes, go.
Okay, you would invest in billboards.
Left lanes, like move
Absolutely
keep right.
not. No. Jesus Louise.
Oh boy, what is the correct answer?
You would
to
put up
this?
billboards warning people of dairy farms ahead, so that they could roll up their windows and
Yeah.
start air recirculation
all right,
in the car.
All right. I
Multiple
would
times.
do that. You know, I would do that, and I haven't thought about it in so long because now I avoid the 5 freeway entirely. It's such a problem. I don't even go there anymore. But that is a thing I would do.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about it in a very long time, but you are right, and that's smart. And when I run for president or governor,
right, I am, yes.
governor of California, I think if you build a dairy farm upwind of a highway, You should be required. I shouldn't have to do it. You should have to put a billboard up being like, hey-o, fucking hit that recirc because in 1 mile it's about to get dirty. But you're right. I did not know thyself myself in that particular instance. Yeah. But you thought the BMW's interior was white, so we'll call it even for now. Is there more?
Sure. There is, but let's go let's go to everyone else's questions. We'll come back to mine.
I want to hear one more of yours.
Okay.
Yeah.
What color?
Oh, Jesus, this isn't fair. You're going colors?
If you play the colorblind card, I'm going to be so annoyed.
Because you did this with Jillian, didn't you?
No, I did this literally when I was watching that one termite on the floor. When I was laying on the floor today.
All right.
What color was the car you drove on our early date when we went into the canyons?
Nardo gray.
That's right.
Okay, cool.
See?
So can we stay married then?
For the moment.
All right, cool.
Okay.
So you want to see what a lot of people have a lot of things to say. I think every patron put a question up.
Great. Well, let's ask one.
There's many. We'll go. If you got in, I'm going to go reverse order because if you got in, there's too many to do. I mean, we'd be here all night, but I'm going to just start at the beginning. Of course, if you want to ask questions of us about our marriage or anybody else, anything else, patreon.com/The Smoking Tire Podcast is how you do it. Get the show early, get the show live. I'm sorry it's not live today. We owe you a live program, but I simply cannot operate the board and everything and be primary host while managing a live stream. It is just a little too much for me. Zack is doing a gig and he'll be back. Get it live, get it ad-free, support your favorite creators. Get things coming up, dude, couple weeks, maybe even less. Orders are going to open for the Green Notice Canyon, and you want one. There are only 2 colors left, that one and one more special one. So, patreon.com/The Smoking Tire Podcast.
Okay.
It wasn't like Alex Jonesy with the fervor, but
no.
I'm not talking about the world ending and therefore buy my vitamins.
Right, yeah. The only way to make it through.
We'll be doing that soon enough, don't worry.
That's for 1001.
All right, Gila Monster Greg says, what's Hannah's favorite press car that I've brought home?
Oh, interesting.
Hanna does get to have goes in most of the press cars.
What was the Volvo was one of the more notable ones that I was so surprised that I liked, the Polestar.
The one we drove to Arizona, or the one that had the air suspension and the wool interior, the red one?
I think it was the air suspension one.
I love that car.
Yeah,
God,
that's the car. The cars I like the most.
That's the XC60 Recharge with the full kit and the wool interior. Yeah.
The cars I like the most are the ones that it would never occur to me to get into. You know, like if I saw it on the street, it's like not my style. It's not my anything. And then I really love when you bring home press cars that are then, on the other end of the spectrum, like super, it's like a super car, but then it's super loud and super vroomy and like real ridiculous. Like I do really love that.
Yeah.
Because I know when you're coming home.
Yeah.
And
with the Revuelto, I got to sneak away.
I know.
Sneak out in electric mode.
Yeah.
And then start the engine in front of another person's house rather than ours. You know whose house I did it in front of, too.
I sure do.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Cool. June Hound. What sports cars over the years has struck you as especially well-suited for fat guys? 911s are pretty good. Front-engine Corvettes are pretty good. GT cars rather than sports cars like Challengers and Bentley GTs and Mercedes SLs and stuff like that. What else is good for bigger folks? I mean, Boxsters, considering how small of a car they are, honestly. Front-engined Ferraris are pretty good. Nice Cams says, Hanna, how did you come to terms with the fact that I spend a lot of money on cars and watches? My wife simply can't understand why I do this. Hoping to hear another perspective.
I didn't have to, it wasn't coming to terms with it. That was just part of the whole package. I accepted this right off the bat.
I was doing it when you met me.
Right, I'm not going to change you. I'm going to accept you how you are.
Thanks, Amy. That's so nice.
But Matt and I do have a lot of discussions around, the extreme price difference in our hobbies, such as Matt, his watches and cars. I have, $19 toys from eBay that I talked down from $21. And then I still feel guilty about it and I have to ask Matt, is this okay?
Everybody, if you buy a $5,000 watch and sell it later for $5,001 versus you spend $28 on something.
What are you getting at?
No, I'm just saying.
No,
I'm just saying. It's both sides of the math. I like you buying toys. I like you. I have never ever tried to tell you to not buy something.
No. That's not where we're going at all.
No, that's
but
not true. I have told you to not buy things, but you got to go with me on most of them.
Like that. Yeah, that Russian.
I've talked you out of some shit that looked like it's like the first couple fucking scenes of a horror movie, where you're like, I found this on Facebook Marketplace. It says found in a Russian crypt. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, I asked if the brown spots are mold.
I think
they said
thing's
no.
gonna fucking take over our house, live in our water heater.
No, sometimes I only ask you because I need someone to say no, pretty much.
The good toys Hanna buys are amazing.
No. I'm not saying that you're ever giving me any shit. You were just happened to be implying that my toys were trash and your toys were worth things.
Hannah's toys are not trash. Here's my advice on this topic is you should buy your wife cars and watches. I find that is a pretty good peace offering. One for me, one for you, one for me, one for you. That keeps it nice. No? Doesn't it?
I mean, it does, but buying your wife, that's how my dad gives gifts, is he gives you something he wanted, and so then you're not interested in it and he takes it. So
But that's not what I do. I don't buy you a car that I wanted.
No. But to date, you've bought me one car.
The POW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying the one for me, one for you, that's also forcing your hobby on someone else. That's not very nice. And I do now own multiple watches, and I find it very hard to swap out watches, to remember to do it, to think about it. It's a shockingly hard thing.
Yeah, I fucked up by starting with a Rolex. When you start with Rolex, everything else seems kind of cumbersome and annoying, and you have to think of
Nothing
reasons
fits
to
as
wear
well.
it. I know. It's true. That's why people buy those. It's why people collect them. They're so easy to wear. Justin Gerard says Justin Gerard, the real one. Justin deserves to have his full username.
Absolutely.
For his patronage. This is cute. During my career, let's not do questions about me. Okay. I'm sorry, Justin. You have a great question, but I heard the woman. Durand Somerville says, my wife is forced to live with me, a car guy who talks about cars all the time, and it's not my work. Do you talk about cars at home, or is it something that I mostly leave at work?
Well, that's an interesting one. I'll answer it in a terrible way of saying, well, how do I say this? I think a lot of our friends are from the car community, and so it is inevitable that cars will come up. But, Matt either tries really hard to kind of time box those discussions or looks the other way when I just pick up a crossword puzzle and start doing it at the table and not listening to what they're saying. But the way I kind of judge people, this is, again, now unrelated, but one of the ways I judge people is there's people who in our lives that, we're talking to them and they're talking about cars and they're only going to talk to Matt about cars because it's Matt and it's cars and it's cars and it's Matt and they have his attention. And then there are the people who also kind of make an effort of some sort to include me or talk about non-car things. And those are the people who really stand out to me.
Ryan West, 2 questions. Oh no. Wait, did I? No. Okay. No, it's okay. I thought I clicked in the wrong. What is happening here? Ryan West says, I'm going to use this space on behalf of my wife. Wife has a master's degree in industrial psychology, but is struggling to move up and through organizations. progressing her career, etc. Okay. The question is there advice? Sorry, it's a lot of words. It's hard to do in real time. Is there any advice on how to track down a mentorship outside of her work? They offer one, but obviously there is some conflict.
Yeah, for mentorships, I'm happy to help with this offline as well. But there's so many like women's organizations that are really built around, getting mentors and finding people to connect with. Like I'm part of one that's Women in Research, and I have found a lot of new mentees through that program, which has been great. But it definitely is a lot of work and a lot of trial and error, for sure.
Okay.
This is now weird because all you're doing is reading.
I'm trying to find ones that are more about you, but a lot of these are about me. You're not talking to the air. You're talking to the audience.
I am happy to talk about you. If
I am
it's scandalous.
listening. I'm just like, okay, fine. Here, here's an open door for you, Dan W. What is my worst habit that I won't admit to?
Ooh. Well, I could just go right for the fingernails in the sink from yesterday.
From the other day?
Yeah.
I was waiting for the sink to dry. Yeah, cold as ice, but true. Yeah. I admitted to that.
No, I think you admit to all of them. Mainly because I usually corner you and demand that you acknowledge that this is a thing that just happened, such as your love of opening cans of LaCroix and leaving them all over the house.
Oh, that is a bad habit. Yeah, my wounded soldiers of LaCroix.
But luckily, I like
habit.
warm, slightly flat LaCroix.
Yeah,
so
that's why we make a good couple.
Yeah.
But you're right. That is a bad habit, and I don't cop to it as often as I should. Aiden Squires, your honest opinion on my Pearl Jam tattoo.
I think a younger version of me would have been a lot more judgmental of that tattoo. A younger version of me would have stared at it on our first date and been like, "So, are you in Pearl Jam?"
If you're in Pearl Jam and have that tattoo, that's really lame.
I don't know. Maybe. What if you were like?
Unless it's like from the guy from Sublime, where it's the cover of the album. Oh shit, you know what I mean? Then it's fine, where you did it clearly first, and anyone else who does that, they saw it because you did it. Right?
Yes, I see what you're saying, but I would have really struggled with it. But also, I didn't recognize it as a Pearl Jam stickman at first. And so I also would have been like, what's this fuzzy line drawing on your arm?
That's the key. The key to a band tattoo, if you're going to get one, and I think I recognized this when I got it, it can't be like the name of the band. It has to be something that isn't immediately for the rest of your life, like Metallica, or
You should have gotten Pearl Jam written in Chinese letters.
If I had a Sharpie, there'd be a Mike McCready signature on that bitch.
Yes, of course.
We would have been up till 4 a.m. getting that thing.
I know. That was quite the adventure. But my favorite
Get
Pearl
at me,
Jam,
Mike.
my favorite Pearl Jam tattoo story, my only Pearl Jam tattoo story is we were walking on the beach one day and you were in your regular beach tank top and had your forearm exposed, and some other guy was walking and he also had a Pearl Jam tattoo, and you said, "Nice stick, man." And I didn't know that the guy was called Stick Man, and I thought you were saying "nice stick, comma, man," and that stick was slang for tattoo. And I was like, what is this slang? What are the young kids saying these days that I don't know? And
it's just a generational difference.
Yeah, it was
weird.
It was very hard, but now I know.
Funny. Okay. Brian can only afford budget watches. Would like you to elaborate on what you love so much about the Delica.
Ooh. I love the smell in the Delica. It's just got an old but happy smell. I love when you turn it on.
What you're describing is a 1990s Japanese car. That is what that smell is. Yeah.
That sounds about right. I love the Delica because people first do the double take because you're on the right side driving, but then people always smile at it. And that makes me really happy. But I also love that it, says a lot of random words on it, like exceed and Star Wagon. Like,
Does say random
Yeah.
words on it. Yeah.
and I love that those chairs, swivel around.
Hallmarks of early 1990s Japanese utility vehicles.
Yeah, and I love, during the pandemic, we ate meals in there.
Yeah, that's good.
There's so many things to love.
It is extremely lovable.
Yeah.
Tim McLaren, what's something that you're enthusiastic or passionate about that you've gotten me into?
Ooh.
Legree was one, reluctantly, but still.
I love that you think I'm like enthusiastic about it.
I mean, you at least you were at a time, if not now.
No, it's a thing. Yes, it is a thing I did, and then you got into. It's a really interesting question. I mean, well, one of the defining aspects of my personality is that I have no hobbies or passions.
Which isn't true.
And so this question actually just might be a self-esteem killer because now I have nothing and I've offered you nothing, and now we do
that's
nothing.
not true at all. There's puzzles
That you refuse to do. Go on. There's
I pop
word
in-
games that you
I
refuse
pop
to
into
do.
crosswords. I can do crosswords.
Yeah.
She's like so good at puzzles. She'll blast through them. Oh, not
Just 'cause I did-
not puzzle jigsaw puzzles.
Uh-huh.
I do refuse to do those. As a colorblind person, it's just too goddamn frustrating. I cannot.
But you don't do any of my other ones either, which is all fine. I don't need you to be like wildly involved, but there isn't any kind of like one thing that Matt has like come over to my side on. Sorry. Bad answer.
I mean, you have to look pretty far back to like 2015, but you got me into like working out with a trainer,
Oh, that is true.
which I think made a lot of difference.
Yeah. Well, when we first started dating and you had that like Stairmaster in your bedroom that I would just hang my clothes on.
Yeah.
And I could not figure out why it was in there. But then you started using it and it made a lot of sense. But then it was like that weird sweat ring around it on the
Yeah.
carpet. Anyway.
Yeah,
nothing.
well, no, that wasn't the right place in the house for it.
It was
And we
great.
got rid of that carpet.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah, right.
that was money well spent.
That was.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Hardwood floors are good. Let's see. Okay. Professional opinion. iPhone 13 mini forever. Rapper fucking Zen. There we go. Professional opinion on the differences, if any, between design researchers, UX researchers, and human factors engineers.
Fascinating question. I'm sure there are people who will say there's a ton of differences. Human factors engineers may be a little bit different, especially if they have any part of the actual like engineering. So I'm just going to move them off to the side. But I always say, like throughout my career, I've done UX research, consumer insights, market research. Like you name it, I've been called that, but it's all really the same thing, which is how do we put the user, at the core of our product. So to me, there's not a ton of difference. And I think when you try and split out things like this team only talks to consumers about marketing and this team only talks to them about, how the product works, like you're all now just pretending that you're not all talking to the same person. And that's kind of silly.
Good question. Says that's the next person's username.
Oh, I like that.
It forces you to say that immediately
it's
after
the
the
real,
previous
like-
one, even though if the previous one was not good.
Right, like when your band name is Free Beer or something.
Hannah, what are the three things you love most about hot dogs? We have some people have absolutely no idea why that question would be asked. Hanna has designated a bathroom in our house as a hot dog bathroom, which features a very large collection of hot dog themed things.
But more importantly about this bathroom is that everyone should know that Matt now refuses to go into this bathroom to do his
Because
business.
there's so many hot dogs, I can't fit.
Well, you do have to shimmy in between that one hot dog and the toilet, which is a bit of an issue now. But I find it nice to have something to rest my knees
The
against.
Instagram clip is, well, you now have to shimmy between the hot dog and the toilet.
Yeah, but really, I love the iconography of a hot dog. And I love that it's become this like weird universal symbol for things. Or not symbol, but like baseline for various. Like I like the anthropomorphization of the hot dog, I guess I should say.
Right. It's like iconography
Yeah.
and
I know.
It's like cartoon hot dogs, and more like, I think I've seen you eat 3 or 4 hot dogs, proper hot dogs anyway.
Yeah.
Pigs in a blanket, that's a different story.
That's completely different.
Completely different food.
However,
different.
pigs in the blanket themed things can go in the hot dog bathroom. Corn
That's
dogs
true.
cannot. Let me be
Yeah.
very clear to the listeners of the radio.
Yeah.
They have no place there. But I like a hot dog, probably one a year at a sporting event.
Yeah,
usually.
yeah. But like
Yeah.
the volume of hot dog shit
Mm-hmm.
in our home compared to the volume of hot dogs that we consume,
Oh, yeah.
even let's just say as a family, is drastically out of proportion.
Certainly.
You'd think
But-
that we'd be like, we're getting hot dogs for dinner. It's not a thing.
like a conspiratorial, like, what do you want tonight? Hot dogs? But I will say, though, one of my original visions for the guest bathroom was that was going to be skiing themed. And I didn't ski. I mean, now I ski, clearly.
Is it
But
because you wanted people to do coke in there
I
at
wanted
parties?
to put a lot of fake cocaine, but also real cocaine. Like I have the ketchup and mustard dispenser in the hot dog bathroom, and one has soap and one has ketchup.
For
the
what
other-
purpose did you want to put real cocaine in the bathroom?
I mean, I like for a scavenger hunt or like the gamification. Because, I mean, just think about it. If someone, you only get one shot, and if they come
Listen.
out just
That's
smelling like a baby diaper, we know.
the person that you want to find that is not the person that will. These are dangerous games.
You actually bring up a great point. And we have a lot, yeah.
But like, but you just made it also sound like it was like skiing themed, and I was like, oh, skiing themed, so people could do coke in there, which really is not a thing that happens in our house.
No.
But like,
Which is why
but
it's
then
even
you
better. Same like the hot dogs.
But are you also talking about alpine skiing, or are you
Yeah,
talking
no.
about a cocaine themed
No,
bathroom?
no, it was not a cocaine
Okay,
themed
all right,
bathroom,
good.
even though
Thank
I
God.
almost bought that cocaine neon sign off of Facebook Marketplace. Early on in this house ownership. Anyway, no, it was going to be alpine skiing. I really like the idea of like little skiers on things hanging down or like vintage skiing
Swiss
posters.
chalet style room, yeah. Yeah.
I also just like a themed bathroom. So
Yeah, I mean, listen,
There's that.
why not poop with whimsy?
yeah, no, just today Jillian commented that she really enjoyed going to the bathroom in the hot dog bathroom because there was things to look at.
But like hot dogs and skiing and a lot of other things. It's pretty easy to find stuff. Demolition Man, much harder, much harder.
Yes.
Oh, God, this fucking inverse. I'm gonna fire Zack for crimes against scrolling. Okay. Wait, sorry.
You're taking too long. I'm going to ask you a question.
All right, let's go.
Early on in our relationship, how did you describe my driving?
Perfectly adequate. Next.
Who gave us a butter dish for our wedding?
Marco.
Good one.
Lightning round. Shout out to him.
What are some cars I dream about owning?
Well, you want like an old small Japanese truck, like an old like Nissan square body truck.
Yes. But I don't think I could have that at the same time as the Delica. Yeah, the
Yeah,
Datsun, for
Datsun
sure. 510.
510. I think you've talked about Fiat Jollies.
Absolutely not.
No?
Nope, too novelty.
No
too adorable.
Fiat Jolly. Okay. What
We
else?
just saw one the other day that you wouldn't let me go across the street
Oh, well,
and
certainly
offer.
the Vista Cruiser. The wagon.
yeah.
The Vista
Right.
Cruiser wagon.
I wasn't even thinking
you
of the
saw
Vista
one the
Cruiser.
other day?
Yeah, like 2 days ago.
The Stagia?
No,
No.
not at the car show, the day before.
Ooh, I don't know. Okay.
But we were like on advocating and we had a whole conversation about it.
Oh, a Le Car,
A
the
Le Car,
Renault
yeah.
Le Car. Yeah. No, I tried to block that out. That's Listen, you know the Meatloaf song? Like you can have any car you want, but not fucking that.
I didn't really realize there were some that were just fully off limits.
Oh yeah, a Renault Le Car is a hard ass no.
Why?
It's awful.
Next,
It's awful.
but you need a better reason.
Now there's a
Okay, what if we got a Le
Hang on.
Car decal for any of our other cars?
No,
Maybe
so
that would be enough.
What about this?
I can't see that far.
How?
Type. Tappity tap tap.
This is what you want. Hang on. This is what you want. What if we did this?
It looks square.
This is.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what this is? This is a Renault R5
Yeah,
Turbo.
this is that turbo. We see them every so often, and I
There's
really
a really
like
good
them.
blue one in the neighborhood. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a Le Car, but with the engine in the back instead of the front, and that wide body box flare. It's like a crazy rally car one. That is the only good variant of the R5, which in America, in Europe, it was sold as R5. In Europe it was sold as the R5. In America it was sold as the Le Car. But that's the best and only actually good version. And also, how about this? This is a new electric Renault R5 Turbo 2. No, we don't care.
I like the red one.
That's the original.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the original, and then here's the new electric one.
It looks a little silly right now, but maybe it'll get better.
Yeah, well, they're sick. Take my word. The blue one looks awesome.
Yeah, no, that is a very good one. Okay, just good to know. And what about the Suzuki Cappuccino?
I didn't really think that was like on your that high up. I mean,
Actually,
I know you
isn't.
like a cappuccino.
I
but
like saying Suzuki Cappuccino more than I probably would enjoy a Suzuki Cappuccino.
I'm going to combine Sam England's question and J-Cat's question. Who was the bigger cat person when we got together initially, and what is the ideal number of cats?
Oh, well, Matt has an algorithm for this.
It's not an algorithm. It's
not an algorithm.
Formula. It's a formula. It's a
Sorry.
ratio, really. Not even a formula. It's just two numbers on one side of a colon, and then the other, and then one number on the other side. Yeah.
This will be on the next SATs. That was the fake laugh. It's back.
Sometimes it comes up.
It's problematic. We each had 2 cats coming to the table. Matt was down to like 1.5 cat when I met him, and then to 1. But then, I don't know. I don't know if either was a bigger cat person.
We were equal
per se.
cat people.
Yeah, I think it was just about having animals.
Now we're like kind of off the deep end.
Now we're in
with
it.
the cat
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Things are out of control.
Okay. All right. I'm trying to ask you more questions about you than questions
No,
for you
it's
for
okay.
me. What quirks or habits? I suppose I did solicit that in the question.
Yeah,
so it's my
that's
own
the question
fault.
you asked.
Yeah, so I'm the patriarchy.
I don't mind talking about you.
Is being my name is Lane, but I identify as a street is a good one.
Oh, that is very good.
What quirks or habits have you noticed about me while I'm driving? Do I have any?
Quirks or habits? Well, I think the best thing about you while you're driving is that you don't mind when I dick around with the radio while you're driving. You really let me, take that over.
That's where the passenger screen in the Taycan really comes in handy.
I'm not using that passenger screen in the Taycan.
Are you too good for it?
It's too many things to touch.
There's things you can't do on the main screen if you're a passenger. Like while driving, you can't type in things. You can't do certain things.
Well, in our 2 months with this car, we have yet to need to type something in as a passenger.
Touche.
No, the thing I will say is that I find you're very inconsistent in your, like, aggressiveness or, like, it's all cool, man. Like mainly, I guess, if I do anything aggressive while driving, you're all, whoa, simmer down, little lady, like, not so much maneuvering. But, if you're driving, you're all, no, I know the formulas and the angles, and I got this. And
yeah, my lane placement, I'm really important. There's a method to, like, what lane to be in and where, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the one...
What you see as aggression, I see as science.
The one... Oh, no, I just lost it. I had, one quirk
bad
of
habits
Matt's.
while driving.
It's not even bad habit while driving. It's just a bad thing about Matt. Is that if I ever discover a shortcut and I point it out to Matt, he then takes ownership of that shortcut. Like, on La Cienega, when I was like, you stay in the right lane because that's all the people going to Stalker. And then every time we're on La Cienega now, Matt's like, you got to stay in this right lane. This is how it goes. That's a hard one for me.
Yeah,
but now I've said it out in public,
without
and I
fact
feel
checking it. I mean, I was a really irresponsible podcaster. I should have had Daniel Dale fact check it first. Mike Who Cheese Harry. Are you sure it's not you?
Ask the question and we'll see.
What is your favorite vintage toy that was pulled off the market? It says for safety
for
reasons.
safety?
It says for safety, but I know your favorite one is not pulled off the market for safety.
Right. The ones for safety, though, are kind of fascinating. I don't have like a favorite one, but there was, I believe there was like a science kit from a million years ago that had uranium in it. And there was
Legit
also
uranium? Like,
yeah, like
really?
I think so. And then there was also
Wait, what year was that?
I mean the 30s. Like
Okay, so it was
yeah.
like when they were putting radium in watches and
Yeah.
shit too. Okay. Yeah, they were
and-
doing crazy shit with radium.
Oh well, those are the Radium Girls. That book we
Yeah.
both read.
Yeah, TST reading list, Radium Girls.
Radium Girls for
Yeah.
sure. That was a great book.
Wasn't the documentary like horrible though?
We didn't. Yeah, nothing
Yeah,
about that.
read the book. Worth your time.
There's another like CSI kit from a long time ago where like the powder used for fingerprinting was poisonous.
Cool.
But then there was a Cabbage Patch Kid. There was like chomp and eat or chew and eat Cabbage Patch Kid, whose jaws could like op, op, op. And the famous story is that it like ate a little kid's hair and like
Yeah.
ripped it out of its head. I actually don't think that's true, but it could pinch a kid's fingers, if you stuck it in there. So
We mistakenly calibrated the torque, and it's got like the strength of an alligator. Who knew? It's like
who knew? It could keep going so intensely.
yeah. Okay. Dustin Height. At this point, can you detect when I am considering a car purchase before I voice the thought? If so, do I have a tell?
Well, you start talking about the car a lot more. So it's not even like, it's just like you start bringing it up in conversation. The Porsche, the Taycan, it was out of nowhere. You just started saying it a lot. It was kind of like, not osmosising me, but just letting it marinate in the air so I would get used to it a little bit. But I mean, the Myers-Manx, that, when I saw Matt's face, there was just no doubt in my mind that we weren't leaving without one. Remember the next morning?
Yeah.
You rolled over in bed and looked at me with goo-goo eyes, and we were all, I really like that car. That's how I know.
Yeah, I'm
That's
so
how I know
stoked on that thing. I can't wait to get it. There was 2 Maxes at that Cars and Coffee.
3. There's 3 there.
Was there a third one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool. Throw some D's on it. Do I have a different voice for the cats than for people?
Oh my God, yes.
Everybody does. Cats respond to baby talk. They love that shit.
I don't even know if it's baby talk, but you have a lot more just variation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't just have a different voice for the cats. I have a different voice for each cat.
Very true.
Yeah. It's because they're very different cats. They're different personalities. Oh, and we glazed over it, but the ratio is one cat
the formula.
one cat per 1,000 square feet.
Right.
But you could easily do 2. Easily.
2 cats for every 1,000 square feet?
For the first 1,000. If you live in a 1,000 square foot apartment, you could have 2 cats.
Oh, yeah.
And then beyond that, the ideal ratio is 1 per 1,000 square feet.
But I still will stand by if the cat distribution system sends one your way.
Oh yeah, cushion. There's always a cushion.
Yeah, there's always room
no, it's
for
not
one
a rule.
more.
It's just a golden ratio, like the Parthenon, but with cats. Right?
But I'm not getting any more litter boxes.
Well, that's the
That's
other
a draw
thing.
the line.
Yeah.
And now we get Jackson Galaxy involved. There's so much to be said
Misha
here.
was so insistent about the litter robots, which they're cool, but they're huge.
They're huge. Yeah.
You need to convert a bedroom into a toilet room.
I mean, we basically have anyway.
Clapman's freshman dorm bed. Wrote a lot of words, but long story short, are there any podcasts that you enjoy or would recommend?
Oh. There is no one podcast that I'll put on and blanket love whatever they talk about. They used to be old Radiolab episodes. I could just put it on while doing a jigsaw puzzle. I'm just very happy. So no, but there are then select episodes of podcasts that I certainly have listened to or have recommended. But I'd say for us, my favorite is to make Matt, when Matt and I are in the car and he's listening to The Dollop or Behind the Bastards or like one of the, more intense history ones, then I'll kind of counter it by listening to an episode of Normal Gossip, which is an excellent
Normal
podcast.
Gossip is kind of fun.
Yes, it's two people discussing someone else's gossip, and just like a real dumb story, but you get really excited about other people's drama. So I'd say that one.
Village Idiot, would you ever come on one of the road and track events, or is that mixing public and private life too much?
I like to let you kind of do your job on those things. Like on those kinds of events, Matt's job is to be really social, to be like really chatty, and I don't have a huge social battery, and I can't talk about car stuff with as much excitement. So I don't think I'd be an ad to any of those events for Matt.
Hannah's an ad by coming on the recce's with me and finding...
The what? The recce?
The recce.
What's a recce?
It's a car reconnaissance. The scout.
Who says that?
Rally drivers.
So, like, am I a rally driver now?
We were scouting a rally. That's literally recce. It may
Rally
not have been
driver.
like a competitive rally, but
Is there
like
a satin jacket or something?
the
I
term
get?
of I can get you some swag.
Yeah.
We'll talk about swag on the other end. Yeah. You probably work something out.
Recce's. All right, go on.
You contribute in other ways. Like the last Arizona rally, like your little side excursions were a big hit.
Yeah, no. I enjoy a road trip. I enjoy all of those things. I enjoy it with Matt, but on those things, I like to let Matt work.
And
we save on a cat sitter.
It's fun, and it's fun, but it is work.
Yeah.
Auto Kennel Paul, what's your favorite dish that I cook, and what's the best thing that you cook? You wouldn't say that you cook very well, but you read a recipe and cook from a recipe well more often than you don't.
Yes. Well, you're just a more confident cook.
Well, it's a passion.
There's that. Yeah. Like, I overdo all the meats because I'm afraid I'm going to kill us both. And I really only stick right to a recipe. But my favorite thing that Matt makes is a hot peanut butter, I guess a grilled peanut butter and jelly
PB&J?
sandwich. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
really
it's hardcore.
Remember when I was sick last year and I asked you for one and I was laying on the couch and I like jellied all over myself and then you had to come clean it up. But while I was
Instagram
sick,
clip number 2.
it was like the only thing I wanted and it was so perfect.
Yeah, man. That's like from my college days. We used to fuck with that when I was living in the frat house, and we had one of them big commercial kitchens for like 50 people with a huge hibachi, like probably 4 of what we have in our house, like fucking dude. And we would make a rack.
Boys.
We do a whole loaf tops, whole loaf bottoms, grilled PB&J.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
That's a pretty delicious.
Yeah, you can't have a bad time fucking with a grilled PB&J.
Yeah,
definitely.
for sure.
Got to go slightly heavy on the peanut butter, and then you're there. Then you're in the game, and also not squish it too hard like the cheese, because then you got to give it. You keep it pretty fluffy.
Yeah.
Light pressure. Okay, I'm not fat. My waistband just uses the NASCAR line at Coda. Do you understand what that means? Shit.
Earthquake.
I'm not used to that camera being there.
Earthquake.
And when I sit there, that camera isn't there. I'm sorry.
No.
Nothing. It's a joke about fatness. Which human does each cat prefer?
Oh, very easy. Cricket prefers me. Nikki prefers Matt. Finn can work Matt a lot better. Like Finn is
a drama king.
Matt gives in to Finn a lot.
Yeah.
But then Finn also knows to then at night come and snuggle with him and that way tomorrow morning. And then Monty, I don't think Monty has a favorite between us.
Monty
really.
likes you better, but sleeps with me more.
I mean, first of all, Monty tried to kill me. So
yeah, true.
He has to like me.
I would say he tried. I would say a thing that he was inside of him tried, but he didn't try. He was like 2 pounds. He didn't try. He didn't even want to leave the truck. He was like...
So I was asking for it, is what you're saying.
And what were you wearing?
Right, no. And I shouldn't have been wearing those short sleeves, I guess.
Right, that's true. No, yeah. We should have had PPE.
But once again, I will point out, at that time, I was so afraid of bringing fleas into the house that I would strip down naked, put all the clothes in the dryer, and then go immediately shower. And you would like roll on the floor with him, and then roll on the floor with the other cats, and then roll in our bed, and like you were fine.
But it was the crucial 12 hours before I got home where that shit went down. He had a bath by the time I got home. He had all that shit.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he was a clean fluff by the time I got home.
Little screamer.
Like 3 different people that might all be you, actually, really want to know about Twitter. The best version of that question is, how does it feel to be Doged before it became cool?
That's very funny.
The framing of the question should be, how 0 to 10, how exactly the same is what's happened to our government? What happened to Twitter as you watched?
I mean, look, people have a way, people have a playbook, people don't stray far. But I really like the idea of being a trendsetter in the space. That makes me really happy. I mean, the ski instructor I just had, he had gotten let go from the National Park Service. And it was a really nice bonding
Shout out to Eric.
point. Oh, Eric. He was lovely.
Eric at the Yellowstone Club got fucking doged.
He did get doged and then had to put up with me, Vin and Jillian, for 2 days.
Do you want to talk about the fact, do you want to vent, fucking blow up my spot again for not putting the video of you skiing on Instagram?
No, not at all. I was actually just going to say more about Eric. The best part of Eric is we had him on day 1. We weren't scheduled to have him on day 2. And then, like, in the middle of the night, we managed to get his schedule changed. So he had us. And when Joey and I saw him in the morning and said, like, hey, like, aren't you excited you got to go with us again today? He went, it's fine. And that's why I love him. But no, being a trendsetter is the best part of, the Twitter dumpster fire. But yeah, it is kind of terrifying to watch our government go through the same thing and just this notion that, like, just this one dude knows everything.
Yeah.
You don't need all these other people.
And, like, Twitter, I suppose in a basic structure, still kind of like limps along.
Yeah.
It's not like, it's not broken to where it's like dead, but it's broken to where it's like pretty much unfixable.
Well, it's not even that. It's working for a select few people.
Right.
And that's where the analogy really comes in.
Yeah, true. Yeah. But yeah, we should have some shirts made or something.
It really should.
You were doged first. Yeah. It's fucking crazy. I hope somebody writes the book. Let's see. Matt Jelonic, if you could swap me for any car, what car would it be?
A lay car.
Yeah, the world's best lay car.
I don't even know how to answer that question.
Seems a little loaded, honestly.
I'm sorry.
Do you want to talk about watches? You don't really care that much.
I just don't have that much to offer with them.
Kip Kaczekchka? I'm sorry, Kip. Appreciate you. Can't pronounce your last name. What advice would you give men wanting to be better advocates for women in the workplace?
Ooh. I think the biggest one is letting them speak, meaning, don't talk over them. Make sure, in a meeting, if the woman's not speaking up, maybe asking her if she has any thoughts on it, or just really allowing them the same airtime that men get. I mean, obviously, there's a million other things you could do, et cetera, but that, to me, was always the biggest one, is like, my career, I have seen many men who, suddenly are experts in research, who can talk right over me, not give me any airspace, and then, like, 10 minutes later be like, so you're doing all this, right? Thanks, bye. So I think that's the biggest one.
Dan DeRue says, do you have any stories, and you don't have to use the name of the company, of companies either asking or doing questionable things in the name of increasing sales?
I don't think no. I mean, I've never worked for a company that had really, truly ill intent. I think a lot of companies, start out wanting to do good things and then have to report to Wall Street, have to get certain numbers and they end up making very bad choices. But I've never seen any company be like, ooh, this is going to kill, children. Let's ship it anyway.
Yeah.
But I have seen the like,
read Ralph Nader, Unsafe at Any Speed for plenty of that.
Yes, for plenty of that. But I have seen the like, well, let's just like cost reduce these good features out of this just to hit the margin. And that's so sad. And you can just see that happening right in front of you.
Yeah. Check your fucking food packaging. Shrinkflation is going down.
Wouldn't that be as going up?
Right. I meant like going down, like it's going down.
Oh, it's
like,
going down.
Yeah.
Like nice stick,
Sorry,
man.
I realize that's why I'm
Yeah.
not an economist, because I use slang words that are the literal opposite of what they should probably fucking mean. Did I ask? I don't think I did. Eric Tiergood, would you rather have the POW or the Delica converted to EV if it was going to be done for free?
The POW, just because, it would be very funny, a car that gives us electrical problems if we just made that electric.
Right.
I could move on.
Possibly solve that problem.
But one of the things I love about the Delica, to go back to the other question, is the way it sounds.
the
that
clatter
little
of the diesel?
The diesel, the diesel putt.
Yeah, the Delica is also like, the POW doesn't have a function. It's a little toy, right?
Yeah.
So it might as well be in a little electric toy. Like, why have a shitty gas engine in it? It's the
What
gas
if we burble tuned the?
It kind of does on when you start it up already, but like the engine is like a liability in that car. It's not an asset. It's a shitty little 1 liter fucking piece of junk.
How did you describe that car when I first saw it and really loved it?
A beach chair on wheels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is, I think, very accurate.
Yes.
That car would be a fabulous electric car because it doesn't weigh shit.
Yeah.
There's like all kinds of room in the trunk. You could put
But if
batteries
we made
places.
it an electric car, I'd still want it to beep at 108 kilometers an hour. Just for old time's sake.
Just to remind you.
Just to remind me.
God, we should have had Mad Mike get rid of that.
Oh,
For
yeah.
all that money. Fuck. Well, I'll probably end up back there eventually.
Not if someone makes it an EV at no charge.
Oh, yeah. If whoever offered that, Eric, if you by any chance are in the business of converting D-list celebrities' wives' cars to EV at absolutely no charge, let's go. Call me. There was a lot of overlap in questions, so I think we pretty much. There were some at the bottom that I didn't get to because they were about me. But I did say we were talking about dirt. So let me just go back to the beginning before I call.
Dirt.
No, I said you were going to talk shit about me, so people were opening the door for you to talk shit about me.
Do you remember in the first podcast we did together, my favorite question that someone had asked about you?
No, because I was drunk.
It was if you refer to your own head as your dome piece. And it was like the greatest question.
It's a very funny question.
Yeah.
Okay. Buying that. Whoa. Oh, buying that. Okay, no. I guess there must be a character limit, and someone uses it. Good username. Buying that government ain't gonna fix your daddy issues.
Oh.
That's an Elon Musk.
Yes,
cat, and I
I got that one. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Sorry.
Yeah. Reckies I don't get, but that very long Elon Musk one
It's
I
okay.
got.
We'll start at Musk and work your way to the WRC. Do you know what the WRC is? That's the rally.
The rally
series.
one. I got that one.
What's one thing that you wish I would come do with you for fun that I don't do?
I think it's more. I wish when. Well, I guess go to Target.
I go to Target.
But in
sometimes.
general, Matt is a very goal-oriented shopper, and I really like to wander and look at stuff. And so a lot of times I'll be like, oh, here's like a stuff store. Let me go in. And then Matt stands right outside the door on his phone, which is not like.
I mean, I'm sure like this is a show for not for men. That's not accurate. But this is a show predominantly listened to by men.
Yeah.
And I'm sure most of them can relate to the my wife wants to browse the store,
I
and
know, but,
I should be better at it and shut the fuck up about it.
No, you certainly don't complain. It's just my own, I start to feel pressure when you're out there.
I'm
But
an
I also
efficient
feel
shopper,
like I am,
for sure.
I'm usually looking at pretty interesting stuff. And I think you could be a little more excited about it. Like when I'm shaking the blind boxes to see if I can tell by the weight what's inside of them.
You had me going, and then you lost me. You had me going at you could be a better husband about this, and then you lost me at, and the stuff I'm looking at, it's really interesting.
It's some top-notch stuff. I'm just saying, I'm not looking at floral arrangements, which could be interesting to some.
Someone asked what kind of, I forgot I closed the computer, but someone asked what kind of vintage toys you like to collect. And it's big, colorful, plastic 70s ones mostly, right?
Yeah. I love big plastic. Then there's other subsets. The other collection I recently wanted to start that you were not about was plush with rubber faces. Those were terrifying. But I feel like the monster room could use a little bit more love. And really weird-looking monsters. But the number one is oversized plastic, colorful plastic. Wait, hold on. Let me see if I have any other questions for you.
We're approaching. We're about 8 minutes from the end.
Do you need me to?
Fuck. What if Hanna had a career in broadcasting? She could.
Can you name 2 things I hate in
I
life?
could probably name a bunch of things.
Hit me.
Okay. Me not remembering things.
Interestingly, not on my list, but go on.
No?
True. It is true.
Oh, wow. This is one of these tough ones where you do this sometimes to me, where you ask me something that seems like it should be an easy thing, but do you remember what happened the last time I did this? You put me on the spot, and didn't have an answer, and you got real mad.
Yeah.
And didn't talk to me for a little while.
Okay, but when you say didn't talk to you for a little while, we were talking 9 minutes, and then
I wanted
a cookie or something.
It was probably an hour or two. It was we were both at home.
Yeah, but then you did the sweetest thing.
And then what did I do?
Oh my God!
I made a list of all the things. I sat down in a little quiet corner, and I made a list of all the things I could think of. And fucking shocker, there was a lot of them if I wasn't put on the spot. And I thought of a whole bunch of things that were in whatever the category was.
Can you name anything that was on that list?
I'm sure if you asked me what the category was again, I don't remember what the list was about.
No, the list, that whole, weird spiral I went into is that you don't know anything about me.
Yeah.
And that we're strangers to each other.
Yes.
And I was very concerned about that. And
Leave a comment if you think she's right.
And then you wrote a list. The list was just things you know about me.
Oh, yeah. You were literally name 3 things you know about me, which is which if you're put on the spot as a, not an argument, but under pressure. And, I just sort of you want to think of, but you collapse under
I totally get
under the weight. It turns out when I had 5 minutes to sit down and think about it, I knew an awful lot of things. But
All right, fine, I'll skip that. What's the most disgusting food that you like?
That you don't like that I like?
I don't think
oysters.
anyone else likes. No. I just don't think you should be allowed to eat this.
Something because it's unhealthy?
No, because it's gross.
And it's not oysters?
No.
Oh.
That's a different, that's a whole other thing.
It's, okay. Something that I eat that's gross.
For oysters, for the record, you're allowed to eat them, but what you can't do is that thing everyone does at the end where they go blam, the shell down. And they're like, oh my God, the brine. Enough already. That's an oyster thing. But
you have to eat it like it's a diner cheeseburger at the airport.
Yeah,
okay,
it's
cool.
an airport oyster.
So no enjoying oysters. Okay, great.
Just not the big show.
Something I eat that you think is gross.
Mm-hmm. All right, fine. Cinnamon raisin bagel with lox cream cheese.
Oh,
unacceptable.
Look, that's
unacceptable.
Let me be very clear about this. That you're right. Yes, that is it. You do think that's gross. When was the last time I actually had that?
I mean, I wouldn't let that combination in the house.
That was something I ate when I was a kid.
If I
and it
got
was
a
seemingly
dozen
very
bagels
normal.
and there was a cinnamon raisin bagel in there, I would.
A cinnamon raisin
Light
bagel
the
with
bag
cream
on
cheese
fire.
is a lovely thing. That's a
Cinnamon,
good.
that's
a
no,
good
that's
thing.
like a
Not all the
hard
time.
muffin. That's like a sad muffin.
If you're at a brunch, it's all right. It's good.
It's not a bagel.
I used to there, but that's not actually even the weirdest sandwich that we used to have. My dad's weird sandwich was way fucking weirder than that sandwich.
What was that?
My dad used to fuck with a pita. I shit you not. Open up the pocket, peanut butter, both inner walls of the pocket with peanut butter, and then 2 slices of American cheese down in the pocket, and it's flat. That's it.
Did he
Peanut butter,
grill it?
American cheese. No.
That's
Raw
disgusting.
Dog. Raw dog.
That's
but
disgusting.
That, I'll tell you what, it tastes good.
I mean,
It does
yeah.
actually taste good.
Isn't
I
that
don't-
something like Elvis ate?
That was grilled peanut butter and banana,
Oh yeah.
which is, I mean, and I think,
think
it was
that's
peanut
more of a
butter,
thing.
honey, and banana.
No,
which I
was
have
it
done,
that
and it
marshmallow?
Was good.
Wasn't
Fluffernutter,
Fluffernutter?
that's a different thing.
I don't know if I
Elvis
ever
was
had that.
grilled. It was peanut butter, honey, and banana.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I remember we made it once, and I get how he gained 50 pounds on that. That's delicious as fuck. If you have a personal chef and a whole bunch of yes men around you, of course, fucking everybody, one for you, and
Once
you get a
around.
peanut butter and banana, and you get a peanut butter, yeah. But if anyone wants to try something weird and different, peanut butter and cheese, American slice on pita.
If captains of industry eat it, you can eat it too. On vacation.
I made it once when you were out of town.
Yeah, that sounds like something I would eat when you're out of town.
It does.
When we're on vacation, what's something I love and you hate?
Sitting still.
No.
That counts, though.
Yeah.
That's like the main thing.
Yeah. But
Something you love and I hate.
this is a hard question.
And it applies to all vacations.
Every vacation. To the point where I've kind of stopped doing it, which is fine. Just, you can dash my dreams.
Like a themed article of clothing or flair.
Matching shirts.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
all right.
I
so
almost dug out my Hakuna Matt Hanna shirt today, but didn't.
I was a little concerned about that one.
Why?
Not because of its creativity, but because the intention was to wear that to Africa, which I think as a white guy, even though it was like 7 years ago, I think that's a dicey move.
We were gonna wear it on on the flight to JFK before we got on the flight to Johannesburg, and then we would.
If I didn't wear it the whole way, you would have not been happy.
But also, that clothes I wear on an airplane, I basically burn afterwards, and they don't ever get worn again. We were not going to be like walking the streets.
I felt uncomfortable
Okay, but that was one
going
of-
to Africa wearing a joke with a Lion King pun reference on my shirt.
But
I'm sorry.
Hakuna Matt Hanna, that was great.
It was
better than
it was
Galapagos.
fabulous.
That was a bad
it was
one.
Fabulous wordplay that I will cherish forever in your smarts, in your creativity.
Will you put it in my obituary?
I'll put on your fucking tombstone.
I don't want a tombstone. I want to be made into a firework or a diamond that my niece has to put into her tooth.
What if I don't know. I'm probably not going to outlive you. It's probably not going to happen.
I mean, in general, women live longer. Although women live 7 years longer, I'm the X amount of years older.
Yeah, we're cutting it pretty close.
Yeah.
It's 50-50.
Okay, last question.
Okay,
Good one
cool.
to close out the show on.
Perfect. We're at 129. What?
Shall I just wait a few seconds to make sure we get
Maybe.
over? Just. What is the name of the one Pearl Jam song that I know and you don't?
Oh, Grammy Out of Control.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good job.
That was a fucking a moment we witnessed. I've seen so many Pearl Jam shows. We witnessed the one and only live performance in the history of Pearl Jam of this song. I had never fucking heard it before, and Hanna knew every word. It was some mind-blowing ass shit.
It was a very weird
It was on
moment
some
in our relationship.
obscure ass soundtrack. Or
It
no,
was the Surfrider Foundation. Yeah, Jeff
thing,
Glucker
yeah.
knew the song.
Yeah,
He was very into.
Jeff
yeah.
Glucker is actually a more hardcore Pearl Jam fan than I am, even though I've been to more shows than him.
Jeff Glucker's wonderful.
He is. He'll be here on Sunday
Oh, good.
for
Then
the
I'll come. Then I'll come, yeah.
1,000th episode
1,000.
of the Smoking Tire podcast.
So since 2012, You said.
Yes, 2012. I thought it was the fall of 2011, but it was January of 2012 when we uploaded our.
So great. I'm really proud of you, Matt Farah.
Thanks, baby. Someone suggested that we pull out clips from like the early shows, and I'm not so ashamed of them to take them off the internet. They're a fun record, but like there's no way I can listen to like old cringy ass clips of things I used to say.
Sure.
I wasn't always as. Do you see this beard? This is the beard.
Do you see these glasses?
These glasses,
reading glasses?
this beard. I'm following the Seth Rogen arc.
When did we meet? 2014?
Yeah, August.
Yeah, you're already
First
deep
date,
into that.
August 28th, 2014. Dating anniversary.
You're deep into the podcast by then.
Yeah, we were doing it. We were out of the when
other
I
office.
moved to Venice, we were out of the original house and at the shitty office.
Right.
Yeah.
But this has been lovely. Thank you for suffering through me instead of Paul, who would have been the greatest guest. Just in the history.
Second place. Mm-hmm. Leave a comment if you think I know anything about my wife or she knows anything about me.
Your dad once said that we make a good team, and I think that's true.
My dad said that?
Yes.
He's smart.
He said it when he came out for the surprise, when he surprised you for the opening of WCCS.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, I'm pretty sure he said that because you were socializing with people, and like people would like give you gifts or something, and I would like quietly walk up behind you and take the gift and go like put it away somewhere, and then make sure everyone had coffee. And that pretty much.
So what?
Like,
so you're saying like you're a good team? He was like really saying like you represent fabulous traditional gender marriage roles.
Well, you have been so obsessed lately with tradwives that.
I have been obsessed with tradwives.
You have talked about tradwives and tradwife clothing a lot lately.
Only on a couple of days, and only because I watched some more news 50-minute thing
days
on,
ending in Y.
on tradwives.
No. Your dad just like was observing us in action.
Yeah, I think he's right. He's smart.
He's a smart guy.
He's smart.
All right.
We're getting there. It's dinner time.
I'd like
isn't
some
it?
dinner, please.
It is. Me too. I want some dinner. It's 8:18. Time to
Oh my
get dinner.
God.
Yeah.
You have to be in bed soon.
Let's fucking go. That's our show. That's my wife.
That's
She's
me.
great. She's
You're great.
Yeah, we're great. We're back on Thursday with Jerry Seinfeld. Me and Zack from Jerry's Hangar. There's some like airplanes that take off in the background a couple times.
That's
'cause
fine.
We're at a hangar. But yeah, 90 minutes with Seinfeld. You can just watch him crush my soul a few times. It's fun and brutal. And then the 1,000th episode, Sunday the 30th, is going to be a live podcasting extravaganza with many guests. And hopefully I make it. That's like, we've done 90 minutes.
Like you make it until Sunday?
Till the end.
Oh,
yeah.
you
I make it till Sunday.
Yeah.
Hannah, there's something I have to tell you. Love you guys. Thanks to our patrons. They're the best. Get in on
Those
that
were
Patreon.
excellent questions.
They were great
Yeah.
questions, yeah.
More people should be patrons.
And ultimately, the success of this show is going to be within the Patreon, not from advertising. So if you want to keep it going, get in the game, be invested. We appreciate it very much. See you next time.
See you at 1,999 when I'm allowed back again.
See you in 4 more years. Bye.